Hello everybody, this is Monty with Flowers by the Bunch. Today I need to put together an arrangement in a basket for a sympathy. This is what we call a cemetery type basket. It's actually a plastic basket and it comes in 3 different pieces. It comes with the base piece, the basket piece, and then the handle. And so it all clicks together. What we have done is we have taken some glue and we have glued the foam down into this container, and then we added just some rocks for some weight. Now, very often we will take plaster of Paris and mix it up and add it to the bottom of the basket and then place the foam in. We happen to be out of plaster of Paris, so that's completely okay. As long as you make sure it has some weight, you are good to go. So what we did was we just used our pan glue. We dipped our piece of foam right into the pan glue and glued it right to the bottom of the container, and then we just added rocks from the driveway. We have a gravel driveway, so we walked out to the driveway, gathered a few handfuls of rocks and tucked it down in there. And of course it's given us plenty of weight. Now what I like to do first is I like to add just a little bit of Spanish moss to cover up my foam. So I'm going to take this Spanish moss and I am just going to go all the way around and cover up my foam. It just makes it look nicer, and you can't see that green foam through all of your flowers. Next, we're going to take a bundle of leather leaf. Now this is a silk leather leaf, and it's about 12 stems of leather. I'm going to take my wire snips, and I'm going to go ahead and cut these bottom stems off. I don't need them to be quite this long, so they come with long stems and they don't need to be quite this long. I'm going to leave a few of them long, but I'm going to leave 3 of them long. I'm going to cut the rest of them off. I'm just going to leave the longer stems on these 3. I'm going to take these 3 and I'm going to use them as my top greenery. So I'm dipping them right into my glue pan, and I am just pushing those right into the foam. Now, when working with foam, be it fresh or artificial, I want you to work all the way into the back of the foam first. Okay, so I'm going to take these stems, dip them right into glue, and I'm putting them as far back in the foam as I possibly can. And the reason you do this is, especially with fresh, we need the weight to be on the back of the foam also. So if you put all of the weight close to the front of the foam, it's going to cause my weight to be too heavy on the front, not give us enough weight in the back, so our arrangement's going to want to tip. So it's very, very important that you put some weight on the back. Now, when working with artificial blooms, you really don't have that problem, but visually it helps with your weight when working with artificial blooms. So I am going to go ahead and green out the back of this arrangement. I realize that's certainly not the most important part, but I'm going to turn it around and let you see. The back of the arrangement looks just like the front with no greenery, and it's always very important that you finish off the back. So I took 3 stems of that leather leaf and I greened it out on the back just to make sure it looks nice. It's important that your floral arrangements are always finished and always look nice, and what I mean by that is it needs to look finished on the back side as well as the front. So don't leave foam showing, be it a fresh arrangement or an artificial. Always be sure you cover those mechanics. It's very important that it looks finished. Next, I'm going to turn my arrangement around and I'm going to continue to add my leather leaf into the foam. I am taking some stems and I am making sure that we add some all the way around. Just like that. And then we're going to take the last 3 stems and we're going to finish this front. All right, so there is our leather leaf. Yeah, you want to push pause? Did somebody walk in?
No, close the door.
Oh,
So
okay.
if anyone came in.
Hello, this is Monty. May I help? So next I'm going to add just a little bit of this pretty foliage. I want to say it really looks a whole lot like privet. I'm not exactly sure the variety of foliage it is, but I've taken it and it was one piece and I've cut it in half to make two pieces. I'm going to take the taller of the two pieces and place it kind of right here in the center. And then the shorter of the two, I'm going to kind of tuck here to the side. So, actually, I'm going to cut it in half also. So we'll have three pieces. Let's see. There we go. So I cut that piece in half. So we would have three pieces of foliage that we could place into the arrangement. So I'm going to cut one here. And each time I'm just taking and dipping that stem right into that glue. Now there are many ways you can absolutely use a glue gun if that's all you have. I find that a glue pan is the most wonderful thing, but if you have a glue gun or if you just even have wood picks, you can attach wood picks to each stem. However you need to do it. I find gluing makes everything so much easier. The next thing I'm going to use are these white gladiolus. So I have 3 stems of white glads. I'm going to take the first one, dip it in this glue, and I'm going to place it in the center of this arrangement. So it's going to be my tallest flower. I'm going to take the next stem and I am going to come down just a little and put one to one side. And then the next stem goes to the opposite side. All right, so there are my 3 glads. Next, we're going to come in with some white carnations. So I am actually going to come around the counter because it's a little hard to do it backwards. So I am going to push my tabletop back. I'm going to take these white carnations, which really look so fresh. I'm going to dip my stem right into that glue. And I am just going to place these around in this arrangement. So I just am kind of scattering them throughout the arrangement. I'm going to take this one and trim it down just a little bit. I'm going to tuck it there in the center. Next, I'm going to come in with these pretty white lilies. So they're just white blooms. And again, I'm just going to go all the way through this arrangement. Now you'll find that this glue wants to string just a little bit. If you've ever worked with hot glue at all, you'll notice how it'll cause these little strings. Now there's several ways that you can remove the strings from your arrangement when working with hot glue. You can use a heat gun or even a hair dryer, and it will cause that glue just to kind of melt and go away. I don't have either of those here at our shop, so I just go through and pull them off. But sometimes that's no fun, so you can certainly take a heat gun and remove those. Next, we're going to come in with some pretty white roses. And you can see I'm really just going all the way around in this arrangement to place flowers all the way throughout. me, white is so pretty. You can't hardly go wrong with white flowers for any occasion. So I'm just dipping my flowers right in the glue and just placing them right into that foam. Last, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a few stems of what we call a filler flower. So it's just a filler with a little bit of greenery, but it's just going to fill in the arrangement. So I'm just going to take, and just like I did each of the other flowers, dip them in that glue and add them to the arrangement. I'm going to trim a couple of these stems and go a little lower into the arrangement. All right, last, to finish this off, I'm going to take some ribbon. I'm going to grab some wire out of my drawer. I got glue on my fingernails. Okay, I'm going to take my florist wire and I'm going to cut it in half because I don't necessarily need it to be full length. I just cut it right in half. I'm going to take my ribbon. Goodness, I got glue on my fingernails. I'm going to take my ribbon. Now this is just white satin number 40. And I'm going to make a bow just to tuck right there in the front. So I am going to make a center loop, and how I make a center loop on a bow is I am going to take that tip of that ribbon, and I've got the shiny part facing me. I'm going to roll it over, and I'm just going to make a little loop or a little curl. Sometimes I can remember being a little girl and Mama putting rollers in my hair, and it's kind of like one of those little curls. I'm going to take my ribbon and I'm going to twist. And I'm going to make a loop, twist, a loop, and you'll continue to twist and make as many loops as you'd like. I'm going to do 4 loops on each side. So that's 2 on that side and 2 on that side. 3, 4, 4. Okay. So that's 4 loops, and then I'm going to make a tail for this ribbon. So here's that, the ribbon. I'm going to take it and I'm going to catch that, making a long loop. And I just caught it under my finger. I'm going to take my scissors. I'm going to cut my ribbon loose, and then I'm going to cut my tails here. I'm going to take a piece of wire, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to come a little closer to you. I'm going to run it right through that center loop, and I'm placing that wire right up under my thumb, which is holding that bow together. I'm going to bend that wire down, just like that. I just bent it down. I'm going to take this finger, and I'm pressing it up against, and I'm going to twist, twist, twist. So there, it's tight. Okay, I'm going to take my thumb and I'm going to hold that wire, and then I'm going to fluff this bow. So I'm just taking and pulling those loops to fluff that bow. There we go. There's our bow. Now I'm going to take a Koei wood pick. So this is a 6-inch wood pick, and I'm going to take my wire and I'm just going to lay it right there on that wood pick, and then I'm going to twist that wire right around that pick, okay? The wood pick does come with a little piece of wire. I'm going to also wrap that right around that wire that I just went all the way around that pick with, and that way it's not going to come off too easily. It will come off if you wiggle it a bit. It will come off, but it won't come off nearly as easily. So there is my bow. I'm gonna lift my flowers here, and I'm just gonna press that pick right into that foam, and then I'm gonna give it another little fluff. Now, if your tails are too long, you can certainly trim those. And the wonderful part is that all of these flowers are on a little bit of wire, so they will all bend, and you can make them, you can kind of put them back in place. So there is our artificial arrangement to go to a funeral. Guys, thank you so much for being here with me this afternoon. If you have any questions about how we put these flower arrangements together, or any floral questions you might have, I am so happy to try to answer those for you. You can certainly drop those in the comments below, or you can send us a message. You can also, if you like this video, be sure to subscribe to our channel down below. If you hit that little bell, you'll get notifications when we have a new video up. Guys, y'all have a wonderful day, and we will see you all real soon. Thank you so much.